It is really loud. This is a driving game based on The Simpsons. You can tell how that goes. So let's just get right into it. Timer will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we're going to start out. This is a cutscene that we don't normally watch. We normally just load up a tutorial save because this is 40 seconds of our life that we don't want to have to watch over and over again, especially with the trick that's coming up right at the beginning. So the trick that I'm talking about is called bush strat, because we are going to try and drive over a bush right off the bat. It is very finicky, to say the least. If I get it, I will be stoked. If I don't, we lose like 10 seconds. It's not that big of a deal. All right, this is the tutorial mission. This one does count as a mission. So we're going to get in the car. Okay, I kind of got it. It wasn't the fastest that you could do it, but I did get over the bush. And for some reason, I reset my car again. All right. So, one of the reasons why that trick works is because we are able to reset our car manually. And if you reset your car manually, it puts you onto the closest road. So when we drive over the bush, the closest road is actually on the other side. So when we reset our car, we get to skip doing this, which is taking this shortcut. This isn't the worst shortcut, but we do get to skip it. One of the big things about this run is getting a lot of coins, which is another reason why we do the bush strat, because you get 2 boxes and possibly a wasp. The coin route is probably the biggest way that you can save time in this run. Trying to get as minimal coins as possible, but also getting the fastest ones. So this was the second level, or technically the first level, where we have to race Skinner. So that's a type of mission that we will get is races. We also warp to many levels because we don't want to drive. Driving is kind of slow in a driving game. All right, so now that we've talked to Marge, we get to go and talk to Flanders and skip his dialogue. You said it right, Flanders. Okay. This is the next type of mission, which is a collection mission. So there's items scattered all around the level. We need to go and collect all of them. Sometimes you have to talk to a character, like up here, to get the item to spawn. So we say, to Barney, and collect the item. We grab those coins, because those coins are in the way. We're going to be grabbing coins all over the place. And then we keep collecting his items. The next one is right here, right before the shortcut, so we get to see this wonderful shortcut again. Okay, that was kind of a little bit slow. And the last one is on the dump truck. So if we park next to it, we can jump up and not have to go around the back. Another thing you'll see me doing a lot is jumping onto the back of the car. So if we jump on the back of the car and then get in, it won't play an animation of Homer getting into the car. It'll just warp you in, which is slightly faster for the most part. Most part is slightly faster. There are times where it's significantly faster because sometimes Homer decides that he wants to run around the entire car before getting in. And we try and avoid that as much as possible. Here is a kind of scary mission. This is called Office Space. This one is a destruction mission. But first we have one of my favorite tricks, which is called Lenny Push. So I'm going to try and Well, push Lenny. And that was fairly solid. Okay, so now he's close to the phone booth, where we can call in cars. But first we need to buy the Plow King from Barney. Okay. And restart the mission. So you can do this in the Plow King, or some people prefer to pick up a traffic car. Traffic car can make it easier, but the Plow King can do a lot of damage because it's a very big car. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and destroy, there's Smithers. He's in the Mr. Burns limo. It's a tough car, but we're going to try and destroy him really fast. And for every destruction mission, there is a lot of strats to do. And if you get the fastest strat, it goes very fast, but there's also very good backups usually. So this strat is push him against this wall, and it'll ram into the back to do damage. And it wasn't the most amount of damage, but we can just kind of keep hitting him over and over again. Okay, there we go, and he's dead. And kind of the lore there is that he wants us to, or he's going to tell us that we're late for work, so the obvious thing to do, blow up his car. And one thing that you saw me do that I kind of didn't explain is called ESS. It stands for Interskip Storage. Okay, missed a cycle. And what it is if you go into a phone booth and you call in a car, and then right after that, you hit the change camera button, which is only available on PC, I believe. PC is the only one that has the change camera button. Then you store what's called an interskip, so it says press enter to skip. Like right there, you just mash through enter because there's nothing else that we can do. But I'll do it here again. And you'll notice that here, it says press enter to skip. And normally it won't. Normally you have to watch a couple second panning. So it's fast to just skip that with the cost of you having to call in your car again. And this is the first unskippable cutscene that we have to watch. This is my good line right here. Ready? Where is the sexy footage? Very true, Quimby. Thank you for your wise words of wisdom.
Marsh, that black van is spying on us.
Oh, you're so sexy when you're paranoid.
Let's do this thing!
Alright. Coming up next is, this is a follow mission. So right off the bat, if we pause on pause, it stops the black van from driving backwards for a second. I don't know why it's programmed to do that, but thankfully pause and pause just allows it to drive forward instantly. Kind of weird, but it exists. And this is a follow mission, so we need to stay close to the black van as possible for the most part. We do want it to drive ahead of us, but if we go too far away, the black van slows down because of rubber banding. So we kind of want to stay close so it drives fast. Okay. And you can also get that wasp with your car. You can hit it to collect the coins. Unfortunately, I didn't. That one's kind of... Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Okay. Another thing that I realize I haven't talked about yet is despawning cars. So every time that I make my camera go into reverse, then everything that's in front of me will try and despawn if it can. So all the cars and pedestrians. You'll see me doing this a lot, just like tapping the camera to go backwards to get the cars to spawn in a different arrangement. Doing that a whole lot. Alright, there we get one more wasp for free.
Can you come and get me?
And get a nice ESS. Also, if you're out of your car, the car you are following tends to drive better. So sometimes we like to stay out of our car for as long as possible.
I'll do my best.
And this is the last new mission type for this level. This is a hit to collect. We hit the Bone Storm truck, we collect the drop. This one is kind of scary because it's at the very end of the level. A lot of resets happen to this if the drops don't go right or traffic gets in your way like that. Surprisingly, this actually went really well. We want to be able to take this shortcut. Otherwise, you're going to have to drive very far around. Plus, you get more coins this way. That went very, very well. I'm very surprised. But leaving Homer 1, we want about 300 coins. Anything over 300 coins is very good.
Everyone duck but me.
And here I stand in front of the door, which gives me black bars because the camera locks after a countdown mission. It doesn't make sense. You can pause and pause, skip a minute. Here we reset abuse again, and allows us to clip through that door. And now we race to the other side of the power plant, but Smithers is taking the route around the whole map, and we just get to go backwards. A little bit of an oversight by the devs, but I appreciate it. Alright, we did not get the wasp there. Would have been nice to have a little bit of bonus coins. And this is going to be the end of Homer 1. First of 7 levels.
Oh, I've got my team uncovered.
The most played level in the whole game. Unsurprisingly. Alright, now we get to play as Bart. And Bart's kind of where things start to get fun, but a little bit annoying. Okay, right off the bat, you want to get into the car that was over there, which is the sports car. The sports car just has better handling, better acceleration, maybe a little bit more top speed. It's the car that's right in front of me. So we wanted to get a spawn where we could just run to it, but since it was across the road, I just got into the honor roller. Which, to be fair, this is a pretty cool car, not gonna lie. We're driving a space shuttle. Now I want to park kind of close to Jimbo, but not too close. If you're too close, then your car will despawn. You have to wait a second for it to come back. Here I'm going to try and grab a sports car real quick. That's not it. Okay, you know what? We'll just run to it. I like the color.
Just give me a second to catch my breath.
Alright, there we go. Now we're in a sports car. And you can kind of see that it's just a little bit better in every way. Fortunately, the RNG was not good, but I'd rather drive the sports car. Alright, now we get to just go and collect fireworks from people. Because what else would Bart do? He's a little menace.
Easy peasy. Let's hit the town.
So there's only 3 unique levels in this game. Map-wise, there's 3 unique maps. There's this one, there's Homer 1, and then there's Lisa is the 3rd unique map, which is the next level. And again, we're gonna hit a person. So every time that we hit a person, or hit a car, or hit an object, it raises that bar in the bottom right. So you can see it's in the yellow right now. If it gets in the red, we get a little bit scared. If it goes too much higher, then we get hit and run. The cops will chase after us. If the cops chase after us, we have to avoid them, otherwise we lose 50 coins. Hopefully that won't happen, and in the beginning the bar goes down pretty fast, so we won't. Hopefully won't get hit and run.
No problemo.
Yeah, so at the end there, Wiggum was supposed to chase us. We were supposed to escape him. But we just kind of drive, and he gets confused and can't follow us fast enough. And now we have to race the nerd car. I was hoping to get another wasp at the beginning there, but parked car RNG was not very good to me. If it parks a car in front of it, you kind of just concede the wasp, unfortunately. I should get one here, though, in the hospital. Yep, 2 boxes and a wasp there, very fast. And we still win the race. And a crash. Alright, come on, sports car, please. Where is it? There, okay. Now, that was pretty good RNG. We'll take that one. Alright. Here we have to follow the black van again. But if I can get in front of him, I can actually guide him past that tree. Normally he kind of spins out on the left side, but he got past it. And then I can guide him again over this jump, which he's not really supposed to go over. And he got stuck. Is he gonna get himself down? He did. Yay!
It's time for some road rage. Bart Simpson
Okay.
style.
So, typically you want him to jump through cleanly. He didn't really jump through cleanly, he kind of got stuck, but I still got over it, which is pretty fun. Alright, now we still want to keep going close to him, but if we get out of our car, he drives a little bit better, and we can kick these wasps. So it allows us to collect coins that are a little bit out of the way. Oh. I got confused by the black vans there. Same car. One of them I needed to follow, and I followed the wrong one.
Eat asphalt eaters. Yeah, it's a really bad taste.
Now that we're just talking to people, that's a good time for me to explain wasps. So wasps are really pretty dumb in this game. You can only collect 2 wasps in each level with your car. Otherwise, you will have to get out and kick them. And this leads to a whole bunch of routing options for which wasps do you get with your car, which ones do you just get out and kick. Those 2, we just get out and kick them because they're fast to kick. But if you can avoid it, you don't want to get out of your car to kick the wasps because you could spend that time driving. So we try and get as many just with our car, hitting them, and then it gives us the coins, and we continue on our day.
Now to find a satellite dish. Has those in.
Okay, now on to Better Than Beef. This one, we are forced into a different car, so we don't get to use the sports car anymore. Goodbye, sports car. Thank you for your service. But we are going to use the Cletus truck. The Cletus truck is a very finicky car, especially on high FPS. So I am currently playing on 180 FPS. I think I'm reaching that. I was earlier. I was able to get tripped a bit. This does matter. It changes the physics of the car for some reason, and it will change our how kind of bouncy it is, and we can get some really big launches, which we will use that to our advantage later. But the Cletus truck, you can kind of tell it's very awkward, especially up here. This is going to be kind of, hopefully it's nice to us. Yeah, you can see we kind of bounced around a lot there. Thankfully, it let us just go through. You even got a boost by the traffic light. That was nice of it. Here's some potholes that, if you bounce the wrong way, you just get turned into a wall or something. It can be very bad at times. Thankfully, it will. Okay. Sometimes despawning cars doesn't always help.
Oh, I could have made a good septic system.
So here I'm going to drive around the Krusty Burger here because Apu, this also confuses him. I have to escape him. Did I get the escape? Okay, I did. So we want to escape him fast there. That was pretty decent. I'll take it. Could have gotten better. And during this black frames, I was actually running towards the drop, so I can pick it up immediately. And this is the first time that I actually go back to this main menu. And what that does is it actually makes it so that I can get 2 more wasps with my car, potentially. And this mission, it's another collection mission. But we are really trying to get as many coins as possible. We're just really bolstering the coin count, especially for a marathon. So we want to get the wasps with our car, and then I will also get out and kick wasps as well, just so that way we can just get all the coins.
Fine by me. No problemo.
And this is my favorite song in the entire game, so please enjoy it. There's a lot of monkeys though, whole 30. Yeah, this is the first wasp. Will I get it? Oh, I actually got that one. Wow, that one is pretty rare. I would say maybe like 25% of the time I'll get that. And of course, I missed this one. So this one has collision, but this one will not. So it's actually impossible for me to get that one with my car. Just the way that they work. It's way too difficult to explain just in a speedrun. The community has a lot of information on them, and they know exactly how wasps work. It's hard to determine it on the fly. But feel free definitely to ask them if you want to know more about the wasps. Okay, these are the last couple. We only get to get out for 1 wasp. Kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to get out for 2 of them, but let's see what our coins are. We are 660, so we are a little bit low. I'd like to be kind of a little bit above 700 off of this roof. So just a tiny bit low.
I didn't play so many video games.
So there I'm actually going to call in the Meister Plow again. I don't need to, but it will help in the next mission. So this is sellouts. This is easily the most annoying mission in the early game. For 2 reasons. One of them, it's another destruction mission, but these cars can be really rude at times. So far we've got really good damage. Okay, this is going to be 3 hits. Very nice. That actually went extremely well. Kind of... Okay. Thanks, Taxi. Love you too. The other car kind of just like went sideways a little bit, so we lost a little bit of time to that. But it was like a second or 2 at most. Here we hit this one. Okay, I did not do a whole lot of damage and it got turned. So I'm going to maneuver this into the wall and we get the rest of the damage. Yeah, it should be 1 hit from death. Okay, was not. So this started going a little bit poorly. And it's going to make this one difficult. Normally we want to hit this one head on to get damage before going to this section. But I was not able to do that. So we kind of are improvising here now. Okay, that could have gone worse. This taxi's right in the way, wow. Okay, please. What is this? Just kind of have to... Maybe I can get him here. Okay. This is kind of something that you can't really prepare for. You just kind of... you build up the skill of backing these cars up with the run going poorly. That could have gone way better. I noticed some of the switch cameras. I like the first-person camera when I have smoke on my car, because the smoke obstructs the screen, so I drive in first person. And here's a really tough trick. I'll explain it after and see if I get it.
Perfection. Thy name is good. Wouldn't be too much trouble.
Got it. Nice. That's very, very good. So what happened there was, right after the mission, I grabbed an ESS and then started pause buffering. And what I did was, right after the mission ended, there's like a 2-ish frame window, I think, which on 180 FPS, those frames go by very, very quickly. So we pause buffer it, and we can then warp to the next level. And this actually skipped a whole cutscene. That cutscene is 55 seconds long. So it is very big that I skipped that. That is one of the things that I was most worried about for this entire run, was will I get that cutscene skip? There's still 2 more that I'm hoping to get. And one of them is way longer, so hopefully I'll get it. But that's for later me to think about, not for now. Here we can reset our car. Get reset up using is very big in this game. And that puts us up on top of the pier, so we don't have to drive around. And we can make this wonderful cycle of the log. We don't want to run into that log. And if you time it wrong, the log resets itself for like a frame and will absolutely obliterate your car and send you flying. It's very funny, but very scary, because then it'll put you one shot from death. Alright, here we can stand in front of this door to do the same thing that we did in Homer 1. We can just pause and pause instead of watching the pan in. Some people prefer to run all the way here, and I think it's exactly even time or very close. So I prefer to do the cool strat. All the cool kids are pausing these days. Here we need to just talk to Milhouse a bunch. Classic Simpsons antics, just Milhouse obsessed with Lisa. And we're at 800 coins-ish, which that's fine. Our coin count is actually pretty decent. I will take these coins. Here I'm going to get beach, which there's a beach down here. And there's 2 boxes that I want to get. And since the timer is not active anymore, since we hit a trigger, we can get those for free. But 2 boxes is quite a bit of coins. A little shortcut. Once again, we are going to reset a these and reset our car here on the boat, and it puts us on the other side off the boat. I don't know how that triggers there, but it is fine for me. And now we can just drive on over to Milhouse for the last time. Hopefully he does not dive away. It's a very big problem. Ah, okay. You suck. Kind of just fell into the pit, so we'll just throw him down there. And we grabbed an ESS, so we could use it there. Okay, this is a very kind of scary mission. This is Bonfire. And we do have a strat here. This is another hit to collect mission, I think. Okay, well that's actually really scary that the car parked there. Kind of unlucky, but what I do is we can get him into this strat here. We can kind of maneuver him, and he stays against this wall, and I can just ram him over and over again just to get 15 drops. Pretty cool. He will drive very far if we don't do this, and it's very hard to catch up to him. So that was actually really clean. I'm very happy with that, especially with the car parking my way. You want it to be clear so that way you don't have to move around cars. And we just get to drive to the end of the level, end of the mission. Wish it was the end of the level. Alright, here we get to buy our first costume. This is required for the next mission. No, it's required in 2 missions. The next mission is Hellfish.
Grandpa,
And this one we require the school bus, which we still have to go by. And we're going to hope for a good traffic car. We want this ute here,
federally mandated breakfast.
or pickup truck, but
This soy pop would perk me up.
people called it the ute, because that's what other countries call it, apparently. So that's now what it's called.
Speed, more speed.
And I actually pushed auto over here, which is really cool, because I can just get out of my car. And we got a box and a wasp there. That's fast coins.
Let's just do this thing.
And then we'll restart the mission. And now we have another destruction mission, but this one is significantly easier than sellouts. There's only really... Alright, a fish van in the way, apparently. There's really only like one car maybe that you kind of have to worry about a little bit. But this one, you ram them against the tree, the school bus does a lot of damage. This one is... The school bus is very fun. For damage, these destruction missions, it's great, but the turning is awful. So I kind of have to drift a lot. It's a very long car. Like this section is terrible, very annoying. Thankfully, we only have to use it for like 2 missions, I think. This one is the only scary one, and yeah, you know what? What did I expect? The car, normally we wanted to flip around, do a 360, 180 I guess, into the wall, and then we can hit it twice from there. But it decided to just full on 360 and just whip around. There's nothing you can do. You just kind of have to back it up. And if we jump over to the right here, we can just reset our car. This last one, perfect. So we'll get it one shot by hitting it from the back against the fence. Now I can get out of my car and get another ESS.
In this town. Excuse me.
Alright. Now we get to, this is what we needed Lisa Cool for, but since we were already in the observatory and there was a costume buying, we picked it up there. Now this level, or this mission is quite annoying usually. This is going to be really close to failing the mission. If he gets too far ahead of me, then I will fail. I should be fine. That vent was a little bit scary to go for. But what we need Snake to do is he will drop 3 times in specific zones, which is time-based. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait back by this crosswalk, and now I go. And that manips Snake so that he kind of slows down around here. And yep. Alright. That is... Okay, that was even weirder. I don't know why I got a random boost there. I haven't really seen that. That was kind of funny. Had to reset my car instead of driving to the river, and it would reset me. But Snake, you want him to drop it before the bridge. But with my luck, of course, yeah, he drops it after the jump. So it loses a solid 20 seconds to him dropping it before. Of course, recently I've been getting good luck with that. Right as the marathon hits, you get bad luck. But it's fine. We keep going. Every time that I jump while that mission complete is going, if you are on the ground when the mission complete hits, then you will go into a little victory animation, and your character will be locked in place. You want to control, but by jumping, we can skip that animation, keep on running. You can also kick just any animation that's not the victory animation. So we actually did get a wasp there for free. That one's even really rare. I barely ever get that one, which is good. I'm going to get extra coins this level because of it, which will only help us. It's going to be a little bit timeless to get some of these coins, but that's fine by me. And then we just get to collect all these fish. 3-eyed fish. Trying to avoid the traffic as best as we can. Normally, kind of respawn as you go. The traffic is pretty consistent. Like here, I will always respawn there because it's going to spawn a car in and then it won't drive in front of us. If you don't respawn there, then you risk the car just changing lanes to cut you off because the AI likes to do that. It's very rude, and it is programmed by the devs to do that, so blame the devs. And this is the last fish. We're going to instantly go and get an ESS right here, but we're going to call him the Mr. Plow. And then warp over to this final mission. It's another destruction mission, but this one is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to try and strat him against a wall. So we're going to sit in front of him and then push him. He wants to turn left, so we're going to block him from turning left and push him against this wall. Right here. Then we're going to call him the Mr. Plow again.
Could you come get me?
And it spawns inside the Mr. Plow, gets it to one hit, and then I ground pound it. That strat is very fun. I absolutely love it. We just insta-kill it. That went very clean. And here, very nice. Yes, that is very, very good. So there is a respawn point on the boat. In case you like fall off, it'll put you back on top. So what we can do is we can... Hello? Okay. Annoying wasp. Did not want to die. But what we did was we hit a little pylon and it launched us up into that reset trigger. And this is the walking in the car animation that we hate to see. And when we hit that reset trigger, it put us on the boat. That is kind of finicky. It's very easier to do it on high FPS, which is one of the reasons why I run on high FPS. You can run this game on anything you want. They all have their own perks. 180 is what I run on. A lot of people do that. Some people run on 200. Some people run on 60 and below. Here we want to grab this box and wasp. And I had to time that specifically, so that way I was just close enough to not fail the mission. And now we can just follow Wickham to the end, kind of. But we're going to go and grab this vent because he won't drive far enough away from us. We'll get an extra point from this tree.
I hope I don't have to pay for that.
Okay, go on, buddy. There we go.
Chief Wiggum.
Alright, this is a kind of very tricky trick. We call it donut fire. Because we do it just like bonfire before when we maneuvered Cletus. But this time we maneuver the donut truck. That is a tough trick. I'm glad that I got it. And I'm not counting the drops. That's 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. Okay. I'm really, really happy that I got that. Unfortunately, that car was parked in front of me. And we finish the mission. And then there, I run after the mission and jump, and that spawns in a wasp, which will manipulate the wasp collision. So now, since I've already gotten one wasp with my car at the very beginning, I can only get one more wasp with my car. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that here. Okay, that's an interesting drop. So we can just barely run into that one, get it for free, easy coins. Cletus sometimes likes to get stuck on the barn there, but if you play far enough back, he usually doesn't. And we just kind of gotta play a little bit close to him. We do want to get still a lot of coins during these follow missions. There's 2 vents here. We'll see if I can grab both. You know what? I'm going to play it safe. Not even gonna attempt the second thing. It's kind of out of the way. And Cletus just keeps driving. He made it through really quickly. Sometimes he crashes for a couple seconds. But this time he didn't, so. There's a lot of, in this game, just kind of adapting to what the game gives you. Up here is another case where we'll have to do that. Depends on if he drops the drop early or late. And it's very late. Okay. So this is the worst case option. We could kick a box twice. Or we could get extra coins, but we only get to kick this vent twice. And what this does is we get most of the coins. We don't get all of them, as you would with hitting it with your car or kicking it 3 times. But that vent stays intact. And when we warp missions, that vent will actually get all of its coins back in it. So you can kick it again twice or hit it to get all the coins. And that is... We can abuse that a little bit to get more coins than we should have initially got. And I'm very close to hit and run here. It's going to be very tight at the end of this mission. Don't think we'll have an issue. I just don't want the cops on us. Okay, quick speed drop, thank you. And here we actually manually get in the car. We don't jump on top to warp it. Because for some reason, now when we enter this interior, it warps really fast. We get a very fast iris wipe, which is nice. Now by our next costume march in main. And we will do a nice main menu warp just to be able to get 2 more cars, or 2 more wasps with the car. Everything is just all to manipulate those wasps. All about the coin route.
Marge Simpson at your service.
Now our favorite car is back. We get to drive the Cletus truck again. Woohoo!
Stop that nonsense.
This one is kind of worse. The terrain of the map is really bad for a lot of this mission, and we have to go over a lot of jumps. So a lot of this, we're just going to be praying that the Cletus truck doesn't try and flip over on us, especially towards the end. The beginning should be pretty okay, apart from that one traffic car. This is the back of school. We haven't been here yet. New location. Get a couple drops. This is Willie's shack, Willie the groundskeeper. Okay, this is, yeah, that's a really annoying part. We want to kind of cut that close so we don't go off the jump and onto the right. But you can very easily get stuck on a ledge like that and just lose all your momentum. Here we can get a boost potentially. We did not. Okay, that's fine though. Then we'll go into Mr. Burns' mansion now. This is not actually a part of Homer 1 level, which I didn't say it yet, but if you haven't noticed, this is the same exact map as Homer 1, except for we now get to go into Mr. Burns' mansion, his chessboard. It just dumps us out back out to the power plant. It's kind of cool that the map has a little bit of addition there. Here, okay, we made a good cycle there. That cycle can be very rude and block you from going through sometimes. I've had that happen a lot recently, but that cycle was fine. Now here at the very end, we're going to take this barn shortcut and into the tire fire jump. And this tire fire jump coming from the barn is very tight. Like you can see, I barely made it, and I'm on high FPS. On low FPS, you have to reset your car. Otherwise, you probably won't make it. Yeah, there we jump. As always, we want to run to the phone booth over here and call the Malibu to get the ESF. Again, allowing us to skip, that's about 3 seconds. Save there. But the Malibu is a much better car to drive than the Canyonero, which is the level's default car. Every level has its own default car that you get, and you'll have that car no matter what, unless you call in a different one. But the Malibu has, I think it's maybe slightly slower, but the handling is infinitely better than the Canyonero. And it doesn't get launched in horrible ways. So we use it for this mission, which is called Wolves. Stole my pills, but we just call it Wolves. This mission is very boring. But if it goes poorly, then it becomes very, very exciting very quickly. So first we have to talk to Nelson here. And we're going to try and get a wasp at the back of the school here. And I did get it. Very nice. That helps the coins. We are at 676. That's perfect. And we have a very good amount of coins. But now we have to follow, and this is kind of like sleuthing before, where Snake dropped it over the bridge. We need him to drop, and he will drop in, again, zones, but it's based on time. And at the very end, this is going to get kind of scary, because there's a thing called 2-cycle. And what will happen is, if the zones overlap where it could possibly drop, so if it drops, like, I think it's the 8th and the 9th drop, and the 9th and 10th drop, I think it's all of those. But let's say the 9th and the 10th drop. If it drops the 9th drop, before it drops the 10th one, or other way around, that's normal. If it drops the 10th one before the 9th, then it will drive all the way back around the map following the same loop just to be able to drop that 9th one. It is very, very annoying, and you lose about a minute and a half. Thankfully, we got all the drops correctly. If you play back, it's pretty safe. You shouldn't get 2-cycled. Thankfully, we didn't. And here we want to escape this chase sedan pretty quickly on our way back to talk to Grandpa. Yep, got the escape. Very nice. We will go and talk to him. Now we get to go back to the Quickie Mart. A lot of these missions just kind of start adding up. They keep adding new things, or not necessarily new things, but just more and more steps that you need to complete. So this one time we have to go in and grab this drop, just to go back and talk to Grandpa again. And there we go. That is Wolves. And now we get our second and final unskippable cutscene. These you just kind of have to sit because they're the ending of a mission. They're very annoying. This one's like 50 seconds. We just kind of have to sit it through.
It's me with a banjo. Now I never reasoned with a raccoon, let alone a Nazi one. So
What does this have to
Here's
do
the
with
good voice line.
not a thing. Where was I? Right now, the first time I rode in a water car.
Crop Circle.
Okay.
Good addition, Marge.
Long ago,
Appreciate
I'll
it.
have to describe it in sepia tone.
So here we get a flashback, and this is the lore of this game. Is there is mind controlling soda, and Bart got affected by it because Bart drinks soda, and so now we have to go and we just figured out that that it does deal with the soda. Very interesting story, to say the least. Alright, now we get to go back to the main menu, yet again. And if you can't already guess why it's for wasps. We want to get another 2 wasps for free.
Just let me catch my breath.
But first we have to buy another costume, and I do actually like this costume. I'm going to try and talk to Bart. Yes, okay, so I got it. So what I did there was I talked to Bart, and then before it could come up with a pop-up yelling at me that I didn't have the costume, I entered it into the clothing booth and bought the costume. So this mission is actually faster just to... we have to collect all these 30 cola cans. But it's faster just to get them on foot. Which is kind of the way that it was intended, because a lot of these are in very obscure places to get to with the car. It is possible to get everything in the car. It has been done. It's very, very difficult. It's kind of just like a meme to go for. But even just running across the street is still just faster than not calling a car. I do not need the wasp there. Here I'm going to land on a little ledge and then get the jump off the ledge so I can go all the way to the ground. Neat little trick.
This'll be Marge's secret.
That card is not slow to get, so I collect the card every time. We don't need to collect any cards in this game. They're just purely collectible items. If you run 100%, then you do have to collect every card. That is one of the collectibles. You have to collect every card and you have to kill every wasp, as well as do bonus missions and races. But since we are doing the all story missions category, we're only doing the story missions.
Marge Simpson.
And this is another
I'll do my best.
very tricky destruction mission. And again, each of these trucks has a strat, but you can see, even with the head-on collision, I didn't do that much damage. So we really need to just hit him from behind and get him right to a wall. And this wall is a bush. Okay, that did most of the damage. Pretty close. I think that's still 2 hits. Okay, this should be 1 hit right now. Okay, not bad. You can get him to 1 hit from death right with that hit on the bush. I was a little bit off of my timing. It's pretty tight if you want to get the perfect hit. But we definitely take that. That was fairly clean. Only lost a little bit of time. There are other strats to go for there, but I find that one to be the most consistent. Here I don't want to go too fast, otherwise you overjump that box. So, correct amount of speed. On high FPS, it can be a little bit annoying. This one we want to guide him into a corner on the back. But now, boom, right in the corner, 2 hits. Perfect. That was a really, really good second truck. And we only have 1 more to get. Here I am going to get some safety coins. I think we're fine, but better safe than sorry. 660, we should be really good. There's also a vent that I'm going to grab, and I ran into the corner. Okay, I was unsure if I was going to make that jump. Here, I'll just grab this vent and reset my car. That'll put me going straight. Okay. This cola truck can also be pretty difficult to get the timing right, but when I hit him in this wall, we'll go into the tree. Unfortunately, he escaped from the tree. I guess we'll just get him on the barn. Does that bounce?
Nice girls. Finish fast.
Let's reverse it. Okay, it's 1 hit from death. You know what?
Guys aren't gonna like
That's fine. That definitely could have gone better. Holy cow. Okay, that was a really big jump. But as you'll probably see here in the end, the Canyon Arrow really likes to try and flip over on its side. Thankfully it hasn't really tried to do that yet, but that's why we drive the Malibu a couple missions ago, because it doesn't do stuff like this. Okay, that wasn't bad. Canyon Arrow, you were nice to us. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Now to go home with my family.
You took my precious
And here to escape Wickham, we enter in the Simpsons house, because the Simpsons house is a place in space, and it teleports us over there, so we go really, really far away from Wickham, really, really fast, which just leads to an instant escape. And the end of the level's right there anyways. But that's the end of March. We are done with 4 out of the 7 levels. This is pretty good. And now we enter Apu, and Apu is where things start to get really difficult. The difficulty in the mission starts amplifying a lot very fast. And also has my least favorite mission in the entire game, but we will get to that. First is, I think this is the longest mission in the whole game. It's another follow mission. We can grab that box there, reset our cards pretty fast. This one I want to show off. Our coins are really good, but I'm going to do this just for fun because this is early American. So we're going to grab American Apu, which is a costume that we need later down the road. But I'm going to grab that here first. And it loses a little bit of time, but later on we will get a box instead. So I'll kind of explain that a little bit later. And I get to trigger this cola trick. And honestly, I don't know the lore for this part. I know that we need to follow this truck, and it is going to drop some crates for us, so we'll pick up those crates. This one does have a 2-cycle that can happen later, but that one's really rare. There's only 2 missions that can have a 2-cycle. There's Wolves, and then this one, which is 5-1. 5 being this is the 5th level, and 1 being first mission of the 5th level. In case I say that again, I haven't used that yet, but that is how we refer to some missions. So this is the only other mission that has a 2-cycle. This one's really rare. I've never seen it happen. I've been very close, but I've never seen it happen personally. Okay. Oh. So there I held my camera back for quite a while. What are you doing, Sedan? Because it makes the... I'm going to fail the mission, aren't I? This is going to get really, really tight. So it makes it so he drives better, it doesn't crash on little things. Kind of have to focus a little bit here. Thankfully, I am good on coins in case I have to skip out on something. Okay, I did miss one bend. I can grab this box. Hopefully it lets me. Yes. Okay. Sometimes with the Longhorns, this is a low riding car. It will, and I didn't get 2-cycle. Those drops would have 2-cycle me. Since the Longhorns is low riding, you will get stuck on stairs, and that's probably going to happen in the next mission. But thankfully it didn't happen there. That would have made this very, very scary. Hope for a good drop here. That's really good. He dropped that in a very good place. Okay, so here we can just jump over the rail during the mission complete. Grab a bunch of coins. So those are the coins that we get for free. We would normally drive over to the costume, buy it, and then warp back to the mission, which is a little bit faster. But marathon safety, plus I think it's cooler to grab it early and get the extra box. We need 500 coins at the end of this mission, and right now we have 490. So anything we get above 500 is extra. We want to grab... It didn't happen. Wow. Normally you just run into the stairs and get launched backwards, which is terrible. We made it up the stairs. We didn't get the wasp, but that's fine. I'll take not getting stared. Alright, now we get the car built for Homer, and this is actually a really good car for once. But we are going into the worst mission. This is what we call Baby Van. It's another hit-to-collect mission. But let's see what happens with it. Okay. So this is actually fine. Is it gonna get stuck? I want him to get stuck here, and I didn't get him stuck. That's unfortunate. So he actually has good driving. So he's driving like you would expect a car to drive, right? There is a bug in this game, which is the developers did some bad things with the memory, and when it initializes the Baby Van, spawns it in, it has a random driving, and it can drive really, really poorly and just like swerve all over the place. It's pretty funny just to watch, but as a speedrun, it's so frustrating. But that one was good driving, I just didn't get the strat. And that's on me, so can't complain about it. Not too terrible overall, though. You just kind of hit him as many times as possible. Here we're going to grab the bend and instantly mission warp. Because once we go to this mission, it'll give us all those coins. Which is pretty fun.
Better hurry. Last time I left this store, hoodlums put pornography in the vital magazines.
And now you'll notice here, the timing will start getting pretty tight. We've been pretty comfortable sitting at like 30 seconds left on the timer. We're not going to have all that much time at the end of this. I did get the box there, which is going to help me out the last mission of the level. I get it early because the car for Homer is kind of easier to grab that. It reacts nicer than stairs. But you see, we're already below 30 seconds, and we still have a couple drops to go. And by no means am I playing this slow. It's just tighter times, 15 seconds. Yeah, we had 14 left, which that was still fine. That actually went pretty well. Here we get to get a couple extra coins, and the nice thing about this area is Wiggum kind of just drives around in circles for a bit, so we get to wait there. And here I'm going to drive under this wasp, and it doesn't have collision, but he was nice to me. I got to get out and jump and kick him, otherwise I would kick my car. But we got an extra wasp there too, while we were waiting for Wiggum, which is pretty cool. And now he's up. Yep, took my hand off the controller for 1 second, and there was a car in front of me. You cannot predict the traffic. I mean, you kind of can, but traffic can be something else. Here I'm just going to keep despawning the cars over and over again. This is going to change position every time. This is that Wiggum doesn't run into them. I don't run into them. We just want to play close to him. And now we want to be ahead of him so that we get to the mission trigger faster. He finishes the mission, but we can get there early. And while the mission complete is going here, we can get out of the car. And now I'm right here for the next mission start.
I must admit, the smell of fresh air is much
Never
more
trust a snake. This
pleasing
is
than the odor of the hot dog machine.
right off the bat. We have to follow this garbage truck. Now let me tell you, this garbage truck likes to live up to its name. That was a really late drop, which is unfortunate. Here I'm going to try and turn him. And if we push him in the back end, get him to 180, that's unfortunate. So we wanted him to just go right onto this highway, this section of freeway, this ramp, but he kind of didn't turn far enough. That's fine, it didn't really lose that much time. If he had dropped it earlier, I would have gone for a different push. I would have pushed him from the front, not the back, and just kind of tried to force him to go to the right, which is a lot more consistent, but doesn't really line up well if the first drop is that late. And here he kind of just rams into every single wall, and just loses you a bunch of time. It's a really great mission start. That was an early drop, wasn't prepared for it. Right, here we're going to get out of the car and kick with this wasp once, and he should just stay roughly around that spot. We'll get him later. We have to collect some items first, so we're going to grab these items. I'm going to grab all the coins up here. And this is a big spot, so the really, really good runners, when you have the coins that I have right now, actually, you want to skip all these coins because it's slower to pick them up, and you have enough to get through the game. Again, just like trying to get through with as minimal points as possible. But I'm getting some just in case. And there was a really interesting trick that just kind of quickly glossed over, was called walking on air. So if you have camera controls, and if you move the camera in, this is a bad part. That's going to probably be a problem later. But if you move the camera in twice and look up, then your character despawns, and you still have control over it, but it no longer has gravity, so you can just walk along the same plane. Okay, so I was able to get in my car there. If the car is tilted too much to the side, you won't be able to get into your car again. That was a little risky. But yeah, walking on air, it's not really useful there. It's just a cool little trick. And 100%, it's very useful. We use it a couple times, actually, just to get items when we're not supposed to, or faster ways to get items. 100% in this game is very cool, has a lot of tricks. There's a lot of getting items during missions that we don't normally get. It is a crazy category. The one downside is that you need a lot of coins throughout the run, and don't actually get enough coins just from completing missions and getting all the coins like this, even if you were to get as many as physically possible. So what we need to do is coin grinding, and it's just kicking boxes for 25 minutes. It's painful. It's painful to watch, it's painful to play. Only downside 100%, really.
My friend.
Alright, here we enter the DMV. to get the last drop.
Empty.
And what I'm going to do here
Container most.
is I'm going to warp back to 4-1. This is because there's no pan in because it's inside. And then I'm going to warp back to the current mission. And this, that acted the same as a main menu warp, but it was slightly faster.
Hopefully my store will not be robbed more than
so
4 times while I am driving around.
What did that do? That refreshed the wasp count. So now I can get another 2 wasps with my car, yet again. We don't need all those coins. I'm actually way over coined. That's gonna be good. I'm gonna skip a lot of coins in the end. But here is a mission that I am notorious for being bad at. This is called Armored Truck because there's an armored truck in it. We are very creative with naming. So this armored truck, we want to maneuver it into under the stairs up here. I'm gonna hit it here. That looks perfect. Beautiful. So while it's under the stairs, it's going to keep hitting a wall. And then it's going to reverse to try and get out of there because it thinks it's stuck. So it reverses. But it reverses and hits a wall. And we'll watch it for a second. It's kind of dumb. So it hits, and it reverses, and it hits, and it reverses, and it hits, and it reverses. And it's stuck. It's not getting out of there unless we deload the area. But I'm not going to do that. So we just get to drive to the next checkpoint. And it will blow itself up. It's very nice because it has a ton of health. And if you don't get that, you pretty much lose like 50 seconds to just trying to ram it into walls. Because it goes under the freeway, so there's not really a ton of like head-on walls that you can ram into. You just kind of have to get it along the side. It's terrible. So you never want to miss that. I'm glad that I got it. I've missed that so many times. Sometimes I get stuck under the stairs and then you have to free it. So many things can go wrong.
Hey, it's totally not supposed to happen.
Okay, here we're going to escape Wacom by going backwards. We went through a shortcut, and when you go through a shortcut, the AI gets confused because it doesn't know how to go through a shortcut. So we just escaped them really quickly. That was a good escape. Alright, this is the second in the... I guess there's 3 tricks in this trifecta. Trifecta, I guess. The first one was Armored Truck. This one is Curator, and the second one comes immediately after Curator, which is the cutscene skip again. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab, see if I get the wasp. Okay, I didn't get the wasp, but it was possible that I get the wasp. He does have collision. But here, I'm going to try and hit the Curator at a perfect time. This should work. Oh no, I hit him too early. That was very close. So it's possible to keep hitting him against that statue. So you want to get him a little bit more stuck. What is this? Oh, I'm going to car bomb him. I'm going to blow up this car. And did not do enough damage. He's 1 hit though. Improvising, and he blew himself up. Okay, what is happening? Traffic is all over the place. Alright, we're gonna make it out. We're good. Okay, so you can blow him up way earlier. I didn't. Here, I Alt-Tab. Come on. Oh, I missed it. Dang it. So, Alt-tabbing there, normally you don't get the option to pause buffer. Alt-tabbing allowed me to pause buffer. Unfortunately, the timing is still really tight. It's only a couple frames at 180 FPS, so I kind of expected to miss at least one of the cutscenes. This is the one that I hoped I didn't miss, because this one is 2.5 minutes long. But we get a dinosaur T-Rex, so I guess that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is you never want to miss this in a run. If you miss this in a run at a top time, your run's over. There's kind of no way to make back up the 2.5 minutes in the last 2 levels, unless you're very far ahead beforehand. But I guess we get the lore. So the lore is Kang and Kodos.
Look at these
They're
space
behind
ratings
this
for
whole
foolish
thing.
Earthlings. What happened, Kang? Foolish Earthlings used
So
to be
they
the number
brainwashed
one
us.
reality show in
There
the
is some
galaxy.
really good voice lines coming up,
Couldn't get enough of
and
these
I'm pretty sure
humans
people
and
who've run the
their
game are going to type it in
show is
chat.
down in all
So
key demos.
follow their
Our
lead.
show concept
I'm gonna
was so
say it
perfect.
also.
We filmed these idiotic bipeds with hidden cameras and beam it into every
Poor Billy.
television in the galaxy.
These aliens have been secretly filming an intergalactic reality show in Springfield.
I knew there was a simple explanation.
I'm going to introduce the evil cola into the water supply. People will go mad.
I like it.
Then we distribute laser guns at the Squidport tourist area.
I like it.
The cola-madden humans will go berserk.
I like it.
Destroying themselves and their town.
That is a very good meme. But it also is kind of saddening to see, because that means you missed the cutscenes good.
We've got to prevent the aliens from
But
putting
it did give us a
laser
little bit of a
guns
break,
at cola-drunk townspeople.
which was kind of nice. The game kind of goes very, very fast. It's one trick after another, after another, after another. But so we got a little bit of break. And now it's back to just more driving. But now we're back, we're into Part 2. This is the first time that a character is reused.
Bart Simpson at
And again,
your
these
service.
levels are only going to get harder and harder as we go on. This one is a lot more technical than most of the other ones. We are already at 600 points, so we need 600 points at the end of this mission. And we've already reached that, which means I have too many coins. To be honest, I have way too many coins. But here I need to collect all these kids. I need to run them over the school bus. And apparently that gets them into the bus. I don't know. We're just gonna hit these kids real quick. But we do have to drive the school bus again. It is very annoying, especially in this section. There's a lot of pedestrians that you can hit, which will raise the hit and run meter. And the hit and run meter it goes down very slow right now. I had to reverse for the kid there. If you reset your car correctly, you won't have to you won't have to drive backwards to get that kid. You'll spawn on top of it, but it was a little bit late on my timing, which is fine. It was like a second of time loss at most. Not that big of a deal. Alright. At the end here, I'm gonna jump for the mission complete, and I'm gonna kick Kearney. Mostly because he's our bully, and I want to bully the bully. He gets what he deserves, but it also gets him closer to the
Fine by me.
mission start. And we had to buy the Globex from him. The Globex is probably one of the best cars that we get to drive in the whole run. And since this car is fast and actually turns well, I'm going to be driving 90% in first person. It allows me to just see a little bit better, make better turns, tighter turns, go a little bit faster. Some people will drive this in third person. It's all preference. Some people will drive other cars in first person than I drive in third person.
Ow, my coccyx.
There we get to get an extra vent while we're waiting for this itchy, scratchy truck.
Don't have a cow, man.
And then we triggered a race right there by hitting into the car. If you hit the car too early, it will launch you and you will be one hit from death. And things get very scary from there. So we kind of wait a little bit, wait for the car to spawn in, and then trigger the race.
My rims cost $900. I hope this car
This level
can take
is very fun.
it. That's
You get to,
totally awesome.
this is kind of where you start like really noticing that you go fast. There's a couple of tricks. I have to slow down there a lot because you can actually jump over the race trigger at the end.
Nice one.
I slowed down a little bit too much, but that's fine. And then this is the most annoying follow mission in the entire game. We have to follow Freak here. He does have a cool car, which is the hover car. So he's flying, quite literally. But we have to follow him pretty close. He does a couple of loops, and it takes forever to get through. So we just get to chill for a bit. But also, we want to make sure that he doesn't run into traffic cars, and sometimes he'll get stuck in places. Like, somehow, even though this is the easiest mission, it's a hard mission. You can quite easily just lose 20, 30 seconds for things that just aren't your fault.
Whoa, wicked.
Right now, Frank seems to be driving pretty well. While he's in this loop, we can go and grab 2 extra vents. One there. Okay, that was really weird traffic. One there. Now he's ahead of us, so that's fine. Because he's still in range, we can take this shortcut.
I don't remember this being here before.
And I don't like how far ahead he is. You want to be a little bit closer. The closer you are, the more the rubber banding is going to kick in. He's going to keep going fast. Okay, now we're pretty close. I'm going to grab one more vent at the end here. We'll see if I get it. It's not too difficult, but it can be a little bit scary. Because Frank is just going to go immediately. Okay, you know what? Because of that traffic car? No thanks. We have enough points, just not even going to go for it. If Frank just would have gone right, and I would have had to like loop around. And it would have been a little bit tight. So there we entered the observatory during the mission complete, and it kind of buffered that mission complete. If you do it at the wrong time, I think if you enter before, then you'll have to leave and come back in to trigger the mission complete. So just make sure that it triggers first and then enter the observatory. Alright, this is the first real strat of Part 2. This is Duff Truck. Can you tell what car I'm going to be doing a strat to? If you guessed a Duff Truck, you were correct. We do kind of need to go really fast to catch up to him in time. Other than it's just a quick and easy move. Very nice. That was really clean. Let's get all 6 drops. I think I hit him 7 times, but that's whatever.
Oh, this is too cool for school.
Alright, now we need to go and collect a ray gun to finish the mission. And we got a freebie. Or a free wasp. We call them freebies because it's fun.
I'll show this laser gun to Krusty. He'll have to believe me.
Alright, now on to FMJ. This mission can be
Yo, lift, now.
a little tricky.
Fine by me.
It's again, another destruction mission that's tricky. Who would have guessed? I hit him there first. I want to hit him against this block here. That's a decent amount of damage. It wasn't a whole lot, but that's fine. Here, if we push him in, we can get him along this back wall
Time for some road.
and just
Bart Simpson.
absolutely obliterate him.
I just know I'm gonna be blamed.
What's nice is that there's coins on the back of that wall, so we get some free coins there too.
Now, I'll prod his butt.
That was
Krusty,
for a marathon.
no problemo.
We take that destruction
So
all
glad
day,
to be of service.
all day, every day. Okay, this is set to go. A lot of people as kids struggle with this mission greatly because the timer is really tight in order for you to get all the drops and then get back to Krusty Lou in time, or to hit all these down. But as a speedrunner, we can do some pretty cool stuff. So I'm actually going to skip out on a couple drops here. Skip out on 2 there. And that allows me to get them on the way back. You do have to be kind of fast. You have to know what you're doing a little bit. It's not too difficult once you play it a little bit. Just run through it a bunch of times. And eventually you'll get to figure out how to go fast in this mission. We skip another drop there. That one you don't have to skip. And I'm very close to hit and run. Very surprised that I haven't gotten hit and run this entire
Oh man, this
run
sucks.
so far. Not complaining. But here I'm going to jump off to the right like we did before and reset my car onto the boardwalk. And that allows me to get these final 2 drops that we skipped. Or actually, I guess it's 3. I don't know how to count. And we're going to try and do boat jump again. As the Globex, it's actually a whole lot easier. Not difficult at
I
all,
didn't do it. Oh, this is
especially on
too
high
cool.
FPS. And I'm just going to drive to cross through the finish this out. It was a really clean side to kill. And here I'm going to collect just a few extra coins. Ideally,
Gotta work off my
if you have a lot of coins, you can skip these. Oh, but I did miss that box earlier. But it destroyed skin in the correct place. Alright, now the final mission for Part 2.
Let's do this thing.
This is just a race. We have to race to the Duff Brewery, right next to Cressida. Race is not difficult.
Hey, what's up with
There is a
that?
tiny bit of
Kid,
RNG
I almost spilled my
because the
Sunday.
alien car has a chance to get a box for us for free.
Dumbass.
Yeah, we really want to do that.
Like kebab.
You cheated, cheater.
Our
All right.
coins kind of depend on it. I know I have less coins, I kind of skip some.
You suck my face.
But it's one of the boxes on
I
beach.
hate
Oh, now come on.
Beach down here that we got in Lisa. He can. The car can get that for us, so. Hopefully it will. It did. Okay, we got the box. Good. 430 coins, that's fine. There we reset the car.
Right, that was
But we have to drive back because the last checkpoint for the race is there. If we don't do that, then the finish line actually won't load in. Alright, so that was a cutscene skip right there. It didn't look like it because I paused on the frame. That's what we call one pause. And that's pretty hype. Not gonna lie. Very fun.
It's crashing time.
That cutscene's only like 50 seconds. It's the shortest of the 3 cutscenes. It's also the easiest to get.
Yeah, twist the legs and the crutch. Landed.
But by all means, it's not easy. It's still a very tight
I
timing.
know. Forward.
Alright, this is Homer 2. This is the last level in the game. And it is a wild ride, start to finish. First off,
Them's our sleeping on board.
it's Halloween themed
I'll have to use a hobby.
because the actual game takes place on October 31st. Yeah. Well, each level is a different day. This one, it ends on October 31st. So we get all this Halloween theming. Very fitting that it's almost Halloween right now in real life. Nice coincidence. And for the final thing to buy, we need 500 coins. And I'm going to have 497, which means I'm just going to hit a couple items here. So we hit a tree there, and if we hit a phone booth, we will get 2 coins. Or outside the phone booth was on. And we have exactly 500. And that's some good coin route. Okay. This is where things start to get pretty crazy. That level was fairly simple. Decently tight timings. But this is where we start going off the wall. So we have the zombie car. The zombie car is very fast and has some pretty crazy physics. And it allows us to launch, to say the least. Oh, okay. I did not realize I was running into traffic car. Hello, thank you. Okay, so what I need to do here is I'm supposed to be following this car, but I actually want to play in front of it. Because we will also do something called an e-brake boost, which I haven't had to do yet, but I'll have to do it again later in the run. And it's if you hold down the reverse and accelerate and e-brake all at the same time, then you'll do a burnout. And once you're done with the burnout, you'll get a lot of speed. So I'm going to try and use that to my advantage here. Very tight.
I didn't do it.
That's too low. Dang it. Okay, so I hit a reset trigger there. Ideally, you skip over the reset trigger if you have a little bit more height. The angle was really good. But you can actually get out of bounds. And it makes the next level, the next mission, just a little bit easier because you start out of bounds. But thankfully, there is a way to get out of bounds from this level, or from this mission. Where's that level?
I'm bored of this level.
So we actually get to drive the hover car now. And this is where we start waste missions. So we have this waste and we can't blow it up. So I'm going to drive into this wall and reverse. This might... I don't like this at all. This lineup is pretty bad. But we can drive up this wall and I want to get not stuck on this cage. Come on. Okay, that might work. Okay, I don't like this anymore. Wait. There... Yes. Okay, so the roof doesn't have collision. And so we can just drive out of bounds. And there's no power plant in this level. They just never added it. So we can just drive to the school. Instead of driving around the entire map, we just drive straight to the finish. And here's where we use the mini-map a lot, because it shows where there's roads. I'm going to sit here. And this is where people who run the game start getting a little bit scared because of this next trick. So there's two ways to this. You can either start out of bounds and drive over to the power plant out of bounds, or you can go for this crazy thing, which of course uses the zombie car. What else would it use? The zombie car is kind of broken. So this, we're gonna have to line this up. We're gonna bounce off of something weird there. Line this up back here. If we e-brake boost again. Does that get it? No, I didn't get it. Okay, I'm gonna restart mission. I'm gonna go for this one more time. If I don't get it, I'll probably just go inbounds then. This is a pretty hard trick. That gets it. Yes, okay, nice. We take second try. So now we are out of bounds, and I can follow the minimap again, and I wait for a timer, a certain amount of seconds, and when I respawn my car, I'm at the power plant, which is the end of the mission. And that is a really difficult trick, but we have another difficult one coming right up after this. People find that one usually a little bit harder, especially since the lineup is kind of weird. You kind of just hope that you line it up correctly. And here if I alt-tab, then I get to tap my movement back. Just hit the Windows key twice. Pretty funny. Alright. I actually jump into that trapdoor because it puts me closer to the front instead of having to run back. So this is hard. No way. Okay. No? Okay, wait. Come on, get out. Alright, I don't know if I've ever gotten that first try before. That was really good. We had to back up into the wall and go at a very specific speed. If you go too fast, you will blow up the waste on the back and have to re-pick it up. Super annoying. If you go too slow, you don't get a big enough bounce. And that's a trick that you want a high FPS for, just to get just enough of a bounce with as minimal speed possible. But here we get to start out of bounds for 7-6, and this has my favorite trick in the entire game. When this trick first came out, I was like only a couple months running the game, maybe like 1 or 2 months, and at that level, you kind of don't go for the out of bounds because they're so hard and you have to put in so much time. But I saw this one, and I learned it immediately because it's so fun. So what I'm going to do here is there's a thing called a jump zone, which will give me speed if I go through it. But if you park in it, get out of your car, and then the car leaves, and you get back in, things happen. Yep, things definitely happen. And so now our driving is pretty crazy, but we have infinite acceleration. It's very bouncy. So I can do what I did back in 7.2 with the zombie car, except it's way easier because we have so much speed, and now I'm out of bounds. It's insanely fun to just play around with, drive with that, and you're crashing everything all the time. Super fun. And I had to reset my car there pretty far. You may have wondered why I didn't reset my car immediately. Otherwise, I would load back in the power plant, and the wall would be in front of me, and there's no way to get around the wall in this car. So we just reset late, and it keeps us out of bounds. And now we get to start the final level, our final mission, out of bounds, which is very nice. And this is the final waste mission. This is by far the hardest. Since we're out of bounds, we actually have to drive over here, trigger this race at the beginning. We have to race the alien car to the power plant. It's a lot of just going to and from the power plant. I don't know why. I guess that's fun. Here we do actually need to load in the power plant because that's where the end of the race is. And I'm gonna go for something kind of fun here. I did not get it. Okay. So it is possible to get out of bounds there. The problem is getting out of bounds with the waste is nearly impossible. There is a trick where you can push a traffic car and then kind of ramp up it. To get out of bounds, that's a really cool hearse placement. If I hit the hearse, I'll most likely blow up the waste. So, kind of have to be a little careful. Alright, please don't hit stuff. But what I was going for was I was going to get out of the power plant and then go and deload the area somewhere else and then drive back, pick up the waste, and then drive to the end. And it's like 20 seconds slower, but it looks really cool. Unfortunately, I missed it. So we just drive inbounds for the rest of this. And time will end after I'm in the beam when mission complete ends. So here, I'm just going to launch myself into the beam, get as much height as possible so we have to wait less. And time. And that was the Simpsons hit and run. Very fun run. That went way better than I expected, apart from missing up Who Cousin Skip. Super fun. Very thankful to GSA for having me here. It was a ton of fun to be able to do this in person. Thanks to everyone for putting this on. Shout outs to the community. You guys are great. We love you. If you guys want to learn this run, this is available for PC. You can get it for free. Just kind of join the Discord. Ton of people there to help you start out. Great community. Very helpful. Yeah, thank you very much.